Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday the 12th of April. I've been away all week with MrSealyp. We were doing some real farming with Nina and Brian, if you've been watching the other videos prior to us going away. So, we have had over the course of the week, if my calculations are correct, 71 mods, I think it worked out at, 12 updates and 8 maps dropped while I was away. Brilliant. And this is my mod roundup, my pick of the week. So this is my pick. Let's crack on. In front of me I have got the Farm Productions by CavalierRoy Monkey Show Modding. 11.44 megabytes download, 7 slots, 30,000 to buy. Now this was on Riverview Farm, so when CavalierRoy released that map and I did the map tour, as I went round the yard I said, oh, this would be seriously cool if this came out as a mod. And here it is. So this you'll find in our build mode just there for 30 grand. And it's a farm production, so it does all sorts of stuff with various different recipes. What I like about this is one recipe can lead to another type thing. So diesel can be taken out here, other things being produced can be taken out there. Everything going in is put in here, and then our production is run from here. There's no customization option, it comes as it is. And here are the recipes. So we can produce diesel. We've got digestate, a few different recipes. What is great about these as well, capacities are pretty good, recipes are pretty good, and cycles per month are pretty good. They'll take a little while, but it will chug away. So as you can see there, diesel, canola, water, and a bit of methane. So you might ask, well, that's great, how do I get methane? Well, later on you'll see as well. But with this pack, if I make digestate and bring slurry here, I'll get digestate and methane and straw, because it's pulling apart the slurry from cow pens, cow pastures. We can do digestate there with manure, not slurry. Again, get digestate, methane, straw out. So we're getting the methane that can be used then for other productions. We've got another recipe there using silage. We can produce electric charge. So if there's using methane to electric charge, if there's anything that requires electric charge moving forward, because certain productions and stuff do, you can then set your electric charge which you're producing to distribute, and it will distribute out, which is very cool. Or you can just sell it, it's up to you. We can do grass to hay, so we're drying down. We can make herbicide with different recipes. Again, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Lime, liquid fertilizer. Manure is an interesting one. So if we bring slurry, it just takes out, the constituent parts. Brings out the manure, separates the water, separates the gases, the methane off of it. That's seriously cool. I hadn't even noticed that one. Mineral feed, pig food, seed, silage, various different recipes. Silage additive, which is a great one as well. Bit of digestate, which if we're already producing it further up, a little bit of slurry if you got that from your animals, a little bit of water, silage additive. Much cheaper way of doing it, and this isn't an expensive production to run. We can produce our own slurry again, depending on what items you've got, or if you just go to the local animal dealer and buying slurry and buying manure is pretty cheap, and then water, get yourself a water tap, free, bang, you're cracking away. And because it's separating stuff out, we're getting straw out of that as well. So if you want to use that for bedding for animals, it's brilliant. Solid fertilizer, sugar beet cut, total mixed ration recipe. Brilliant. I absolutely love it. So I think I ran the first digestate one, which gave me, what have I got stored? I was putting slurry in and I was getting out methane. What was the other thing? What was the recipe doing? My mind's blanked. Digestate, methane, and electric charge we got out of that. So that's all storing at the moment on the right hand side in that column. Brilliant. I was really pleased to see it, because I remember when I did the map tour saying that'd be really cool if it comes out as a mod. So there we are. That's the farm production by CavalierRoy Monkey Show Modding. Next up, we've got the boosted greenhouses. Now people will say, okay, so it's just greenhouses with better recipes. There was a reason why I picked this. Boosted greenhouses by GMNGjoy, 20.22 megabytes download. Slot counts are various, and I'm not going to go through all of them. And there are some customization options as well for which side you have your spawn point for your pallets, which again, I like that as an option. So if we go into our build mode, across from there to our greenhouses, and we'll come down to where it says boosted. So these ones now say boosted, and we've got So you've got a boosted one for rice saplings, then you've got your tarp greenhouses, small, medium and large. You've then got your boosted glass greenhouses, small, medium and large. And then we've got our mushroom greenhouses, small, medium and large. Like I say, I haven't put all of them out. And they all just require water. They don't require anything else. But the recipes are boosted. So what I did was, again, you know, the bigger the greenhouse, the faster they will produce. The more it will produce. They will produce all the same stuff as your basic greenhouses do for FS22. So you've got your chili peppers, garlic, lettuce, snapper, cabbage, spring onion, strawberry, tomato, and then the bottom recipe is why this one piqued my interest, because it says water free. If you set that recipe running, it fills up with water itself. So you don't have to bring water to it. You can if you want to, if that's absolutely fine. But if you don't want to, you can set it up, set that recipe going, so that will refill itself with water as it goes. You don't have to put any water in it. But the cycles per month, I think the recipes are pretty much the same. I checked the chili pepper one against the medium standard greenhouse, and what was the recipe for this one? 2,640 cycles per month. A 6-to-4 recipe, which I think is pretty much what the other one was. But the other one, the cycles per month, are much lower. I think it was 500 and something. So that's why it's boosted. So you will get stuff quicker. I think I only ran 2. I mean, I ran garlic and spring onions on this. I'm on 1 day months on my test map, so I left it running overnight. I've got a pallet of each out, or 2 pallets of each out, should I say. Very nice indeed. Next, and this was immediately when I saw this, like, oh, come on, this is a bit of me. I was a postman for 17 years. So I saw this and thought, this is really cool. And it is a cool mod as well. I like the concept behind it. Again, people will argue, it's not farming. Hey, farmers need to get their post. And you might decide you want to be a reserve postman. You know, we used to have Christmas casuals and stuff like that. This is the LPS Post Office Productions Pack by Squigglze. 9.31 megabytes download. We've got the main building, which is 13 slots for 95,000 to buy. We've then got a sell point. I say a sell point, multiple, which is also very cool. 8 slots for the first one with the customization option. We've got container, and the container is a buy point for post. So you can buy letters. It will make sense in just a moment. We go around the back. That's 2 slots. And then we've got a decorative item, and the decorative item is the Lizard Postal Service signpost, which you can put wherever you like. There's one with the building. And then we've got the vehicle as well with this, which is, again, very cool. Now these are your sell points, and there are various different ones to choose from when you go for your customization. That fishing lure one, milk canister, there's a whole load of them, and I've got one up on the hill. Now all you bring to this is water, and the water is for the coffee and tea machine. That's basically what it's for, because your staff at your postal service, they need hydration. So you bring it water, and it produces mail. And then you collect your mail in your mail van, you drive it off to your sell points, and the fact you can place these around your map at different locations at the end of driveways and stuff, you are delivering the mail. It's clever. It's a clever mod. I really like it. So if we come down to just there, 95 grand for the building. We come across to our sell points, and we come to, where was it? There we go. So this one here, it'll be a little bit difficult to see. That's the only downside, because we can't really zoom in. And I think we need to rotate it around. I think it's that way around. So if I press R3 now, we've got a metal one, we've got a boat motor, which is pretty cool. Fishing lure, no, it is the other way around. Let's swing it around. I was right the first time. Leave it where it was. There we go. Click on it again. Fishing lure, red barn, cow, green plastic, black plastic, horse, which could then be rotated around again, milk can, tractor, back to metal again. So those are all the various different sell points. If we come out of there, go up to the top, and we go across to our containers. Containers, where you got this here. So this is the LPS blue box. This is a mail fill point. So it might be you're getting mail brought to your area from a distribution centre, and you go and collect it from there maybe, or you're going around doing the collections first. However you want to go about it. That's 50 to place, and then you buy the mail technically from it. And if we come out of there and we go into our vehicles, was it cars and bikes or miscellaneous? Cars and bikes, there you go. For 18 grand, that's all, which is pretty cool. There's no options, you get it just like that. So, yeah, like I say, you bring your water. Click on it here. I've turned it off for a while. It only takes 1,000 litres, but it's a 1 to 10 ratio, so you're getting more out. 2,400 cycles per month, so pretty good as well. And if we come around the back, and what I've also done to hark back to my days of being a postie, I did foot deliveries, van deliveries, bike deliveries. I did mail centre processing. I was a manager. I did all sorts of stuff. I love the van, and I think it's cool. So what I did was, now interestingly with this, horn, lights, beacons, which is pretty cool. If we come across to here, to that buy point, I can buy mail. But notice, didn't charge me for buying the mail, so it's technically a collection point. You're going around emptying the post boxes where people have put their mail in. If I come around the back of the building where it's producing, your water goes into the back here, and then it produces pallets of trays of letters. So what I thought was, I wonder, because there is a mod, there's a bicycle mod, because I'm doing bike deliveries. Now, if it had a smaller box, it'd be really, really cool, but it doesn't matter. I've got a whole pallet on there. So if you wanted to, you can get on your bike, get your mail. If I had a basket on the front, that'd be even better. Now, hopefully, if I come to one of these sell points, it should just sell. Do I need it to, do I need to sell? There we go, look. Do I need to unstrap? There we go. Unstrap it. And we've sold our mail by bike. Now, this bike doesn't, this is old. This is old, I can't remember what it's called now. Or even who it was by. I just grabbed the mod and found it. This isn't part of the pack. But I just thought it'd be quite cool. If you were starting out on the postal routes before they trusted you with a van. Oh, there we go. So it should give me the option. Back up to someone's letterbox. Unload the post, and then off you go. I say, it's a quirky thing. It's clever, it's cool. I like it. I think it's just a bit of fun, and it's nice. You can set up around your map. Yeah. Do your farming stuff, and off you go. Do a little postal route and carry on. There we go. LPS, Post Office Productions Pack. Next, we've got the Extended Goods and Productions. 3 buildings in this pack, and it adds some extra stuff to the game as well. 1.49 megabytes download by, this was, I think it says Fasde. I think it's Fasde. So we've got the grain mill, 14 slots, 325 grand. Plant-based milk production, 14 slots, 225 grand. And then we've got a dairy, 12 slots and 245 grand. The rest of the productions we're going to look at, I'm trying not to get bogged down on the recipes and stuff. When I show you on the screen, you'll be able to pause it and have a look. You'll be able to see the capacities and the recipes and stuff like that. But it's more the fact it's got some extra things to it, which I think is pretty cool. So if we come back to our factories, so we have just here, for 325 grand, we've got the extended grain mill, which is that one there. We come across that one there, is the plant-based milk production. And then that one there is the extended dairy production. So those are the prices. There wasn't a sell point for this. They just came up on the standard sell points and on the Schultz modding sell anything situation. So we come across here and click on there. You'll see our recipe. So you've got all your standard stuff for your grain mill, but then you've got separate ones. So you've got your barley. It does canola, corn, peas. So you can do all your normal flour. So that will go off to bakeries and stuff like that, base game stuff. So you can do it with soybeans, sunflower. So it's extended anyway. But you've also got these recipes that have got a different box and a different bag. You get paid more for those as well. So if you click on those won't go off to your productions. Those I don't think will work on the bakeries and things like that. So we can do a canola flour one there. We have got maize flour. We've got peas, which I've got running, and I think I did a soy flour. I didn't do a rice flour. You can do it with sunflower as well. And again, cycles a month, recipes and that kind of stuff. 25 to 20 on the soy. Cycles per month aren't too bad. It runs at a fair pace. And when I say it runs at a fair pace, I had peas and soy running on this one. And like I say, I ran it through when I was prepping yesterday and overnight. Look how much I got. And that's just with the peas and soy. So these are the pallets. There's our quality soy flour. Let me show the pea one somewhere. There you go. And quality pea flour. And these are separate things. And if you go into, again, I'm not going to necessarily show you all of them on here. But if we come down to, I mean, if you look at peas, what are our peas there? 1,800-ish. And soy flour, there you go. Pea flour, 3,000 and something. So you're definitely gaining from it. You don't lose a huge amount in the recipe. And then soy flour should be a little bit further down. Soy flour, which is separate again to the standard flour. Yeah, 2,449. I think it's well worth doing. So that's the extended grain mill. Then we've got the plant-based milk, which again I think is quite cool. we've had things like this before in FS22. We've got oat milk, we've got pea milk, rice milk with long grain rice, rice milk with normal rice, and then soy milk. Now, we've had soy milk and oat milk, I think, before. Pea milk and rice milk, I don't think we've had. But what I've also found interesting with these is that, again, cycles per month are pretty good, recipes pretty good. That unlike the base game milk, which if you do buffalo milk and you do bottled milk, and then you do goat milk, I think the label for goat milk and bottled milk is identical. Yet modders have managed to do it. That one says oat milk on the end, on the label, and that one says rice milk. And again, these are different prices for selling, which is pretty cool. They're not liftable. I don't think they're part of the... why can't I think of the name of the files? XML files that do that. And then we move around to the standard dairy around the back. If we click on this one, this has got some extra things again. All the base game stuff is here. But what stood out to me on this one was garlic butter. So if we go into the recipe for that, if we bring milk and garlic, it'll do your butter as it would normally, but it'll make garlic butter by adding the garlic in. And if we go a bit further down, we then had strawberry milk. I haven't got one of those out yet. That's a fairly slow recipe, it seems to be, to run. I'm on 797, which isn't too bad. And then we've got yoghurt. And those two, one requires strawberries and milk, strawberries and sugar, and then the yoghurt one just requires milk and sugar to give us a yoghurt out. And I think around the back we've probably already got, if I'm not mistaken, we click on here, there you go, we've got a gourmet garlic butter, and we've got our unflavoured yoghurt, but we don't have a strawberry milkshake out of there yet. So again, I just wanted to show those because I just thought the extra things that are coming out of them are something interesting, something a bit different, and it might be you want to go plant-based, you might want to go fully down that route, so you know what, why not? Got the plant-based stuff going on. Pretty cool. Extended Goods and Productions by Fasde. Next we've got Making a Return. I used this on my Apocalypse series, like it a lot, and I wanted to double check and see if it was still doing the things it did before. This is the Lizard Roadrunner Haysqueezer by Pascal Kautz. 10 megabytes download, 7 slots, 1 slot and 1 slot. 7 slot is for the base vehicle, which is a 500 horsepower, comes under wheel loaders. You've then got the Haysqueezer, which is for picking up bales. Hasn't got to be hay specifically, but picking up bales. We also have a bale spike that comes with this, but when disconnected, this will attach to anything wheel loader. So you have, in effect, got a 500 horsepower wheel loader, and if I recall correctly, it's a little bit cheaper. We can change driving direction, so I think it goes 50 odd miles an hour as well, which is pretty cool. I liked this when it first came out, and it's just a very cool bit of kit. So here's where you find it, 123 grand. You can have it no decal. You can have it with that decal, or that decal, which you then can fiddle around with. We've got default without lights, default with lights, which puts lights on the roof. We've then got a modification, which puts chrome parts on everything, with or without lights. We've got beacon lights, we've got without, and we can run through different designs. We've got 1 through 7 on your beacons. The final one, number 7, is tiny little flashing strobes. Main colour, anything on that palette does that section. Secondary colour does that section down the bottom. Decal colour, depending on which decal you've gone for, does that. And then rim colour and a license plate option on there too. We come out of there and we go to our wheel loader tools, is where you'll find the 2 extra bits of equipment. The bale handler and the bale fork. Again, not 1 slot each, not too expensive at all. Main colour change on that one. Main colour and time colour change on that one. And then, like I say, if without those attached, it will hook up to anything wheel loader, which this is the wheel loader all but attachment, so I wanted to show you that. But it will do buckets and grabs and log forks and manure forks and whatever you want. So let's jump in, start it up. Lights. Very cool. L1 and right stick side to side does that, and up and down will do that. So when we're attached to our, if we go for that one, we can raise and lower, and then we've got our squeeze in and out. So for grabbing your bales or whatever you're going to grab, absolutely brilliant. It doesn't have tension straps. I think I used this a lot. I was using it for picking up pallets and stuff. Will it still go that narrow? Was I doing double wide? I can't remember what I was doing, but it was allowing me to pick up bales, but maybe it won't go that narrow. L1, R1, right stick side to side, does the doors. Well, there is change driving direction. So if we go down the road, up to 51 miles an hour, so it will shift around the map. So like I say, it's like, you know, the fact you can use anything wheel loader on it with very different adapters, you can use it as a pretty hefty tractor unit. There was an attachment that allowed me to use it as a trailer, if I recall. But I don't think it's available at the moment in any of the packs. If we change driving directions, put beacons on, depending again which beacons you've gone for. And then in that configuration, you're sort of driving more towards what you're doing, which makes life a little bit easier. Doesn't go as fast, I mean 27 miles an hour as opposed to 51, but it will do the job. Now, as far as squeezing bales goes, it's much better to do them lengthways than it is sideways, because sideways, if you stop suddenly, they do have a tendency to fly off, so just be careful of that. If you know, do it nice and wide. First person, like this, and then back in, and again, depending what direction you're actually pointing in. Woo. No, that should help, shouldn't it? For my incompetent driving. Okay. Squeeze that together. As tight as it'll go. There we go. Tilt it back a little bit, and off we go. Or with whatever wheel load attachment you have decided to put on it. I'm glad that's made a return. I like that. Very cool. So that's the Lizard Roadrunner Haysqueezer by Pascal Kautz. Next we've got the camo tent. Now this, I mean, this is just a sleep trigger, but this appeared, then disappeared, then appeared as an update. The update was basically fixing what was wrong with it, but I didn't get a chance to review it before it had been removed from the Modhub. I just love the fact it was a camo tent. I thought it was quite cool. Stick it in the woodland, bit of stealth camping, that kind of thing, and it's a sleep trigger. Just in there, as all the other sleep triggers work. It's by Squigglze, 7.08 megabytes download, 7 slots, 26 to buy. Build mode and farmhouses is where you will locate it. Next we have got, I haven't got as many mods to review, but because they're all productions, it's taken a while. We've got this, the Wooden Toys Workshop by VX Mapping. This is 5.85 megabytes download, 15 slots, 20,000 to buy. There's no sell point that comes with it. It comes as it is. Build mode and factories is where you'll locate it. Putting in is done here for the wood coming in. Out we get toys or carvings, sculptures, and we get wood chip as a byproduct, which is pretty cool. Door opens inside here. We have got shed lights on or off, and now production. Look at the carvings. I haven't had a carving yet. It hasn't quite done it. Wooden toys there. So creation of sculptures. So that'll, if you bring wood to this, you'll get carvings and wood chips. Now a carving isn't quite there yet. But then we've got toy manufacturer using planks or toy manufacturer using wood. With planks, you just get the toys. If you bring wood, you get the toys and wood chips as a byproduct. And as you can see, we've got some stuff outside. Cycles and recipes are pretty good, and prices, again, aren't too bad. If I go to, where's our toys? When they're toys, there you go, 2,900 and something for the toys. And then carvings, obviously been a little bit further up. There you go, carvings. A little over 3,000 for the carvings. Like I say, the carvings are a little bit slower, probably why they're worth a little bit more. I was hoping I'd have one out, but it hasn't appeared yet. We're just not quite there. But there you go. That is the Wooden Toys Workshop by VX Mapping. While we are here then, a couple of things that I grabbed out. One was this. I wasn't sure if this had tension straps, which would help with forestry, but actually what it has got is pretty cool anyway. So this is the Forestry Transportbox by Woodcraft Modding, 2.76 megabytes download. You'll find it under the forestry section, miscellaneous, 2 slots, 2.1 meters wide. I mean, it is basically, you know, a leveler type thing, and you can push logs around and stuff like that. But this top bit here, we jump in the tractor, let's lower it to the ground, and it gives me the option to unfold leveler, which does that, opens the lid up. With the lid open, you can put your spray cans for tree marking, and you can put your chainsaw in there, which I've got one in there already. If I take chainsaw, there we go, there's our chainsaw. So yeah, it is a transport box. So I actually looked and thought, that's weird, how is that a transport box? But that's what it does, which I think is pretty cool. Nice and straightforward as well, that one. It's under a forestry section. It's under miscellaneous. There you go, just there. The forestry transport box. Now, options on that, I think it was just colour, wasn't it? Main colour and the colour of the eyelets. I thought the eyelets would have tension straps, but it didn't give me an option for that at all. What I will just double check is that doesn't have the option for, no. I suddenly thought, what if that's a winch type thing? But it's not, so that's fine. If we come back into that section, because what I've also got down here, I want to have a look at this. The Zetor TKL81 Turbo by WOLFex Modding, 5.9 megabytes download, 6 slots. Options on this, we've got Continental, or we've got Michelin, Mitas, Trelleborg, Friedrichstein on our tyres, and then a very few different tyre choices within those. We've got some narrows and standards and wides and those kind of things on various different tyre choices. Go through, find something you like. We've got old or new decals on there. Actually, I prefer the old, or no, but there's our old, there's the new, and there's no. I prefer the old ones, they look much better. We then got warning stripes. We've got 1 and 2 on those options. I went for the single on the side. I just like that. The main colour does that section. Design colour does all that section. Door colour, if you want to change the door as well, does that. Rim colour and license plate option on there as well. Now, what it does say as well, if you look there, if you look at the Fanzelt there, which is a little bit more expensive, does come with the crane option if you want the crane as well. That's got an 8-ton winch on it. This one here, that says 65, doesn't it? That says 65 tons. It's got a double winch, which that one has, and 45 grand for the base model makes it a very, very useful piece of kit. So it's this here. Here we go. Double winch on the back. If we pull it out to a big old tree like that, which is probably help us start the engine. So L1, R1 and right stick up and down was our blade at the front. L1, R1 and right stick up and down, raise and lowers that. So if you want to bring the plate right the way down so you can bring a log right up against it in position, you can. You can do it from in cab if you want. Articulated, horn, lights. Let's say it's nice and straightforward. It's just a solid bit of kit and not too expensive. Now you can do your winch from inside the cab if you want. You can do it from outside if you want. Like I say, because it's got a pretty hefty old winch on it, it says. Am I caught on? That's interesting. Maybe it's just the pull. That doesn't want to move, does it? I thought they would pull it towards us. Let's drive forward. Probably could dig the blade in the ground as well. What is that tree stuck on? Blimey. Okay. So much as it does have a winch that will do that, it just doesn't have the oomph to pull that. I'd have to chop that up a little bit. But anyway, does have a double winch, does have a blade on the front. I mean, probably it's a bit too big. But the fact it gives you that winch 65 ton. There's no way it's going to pull 65 ton. Doesn't hurt to check these things, does it? The Zetor TKL 81 Turbo. Where are we up to? Next. And again, I wanted to double check this. This is the liquid fertilizer and herbicide production by DS Power. 9.31 megabytes download, 16 slots, 40,000 to buy. We've then got 2 things that you need to buy: nutrient, salt, and weed free. Both are 1 slot each, both are 1,000 each, and they're 500 litres. I'm not sure if the scale on these containers is a bit too small. Maybe they need to be a little bit bigger. But anyway, you buy those under pallets and you buy the production. So build mode factories is where you'll find it. And it is just there for 40 grand. And if we come into here and we come down to our pallets, just there, there's where you'll find your nutrient, salt, and your weed free. Now I bought 2 of each of these, so I put 1 of each in just to see how it would run. So I put 500 litres of nutrient, salt, 500 litres of the weed free. Putting in is done here, taking out is done on the end here. These doors do open and close independently, so if you want to open and close the doors on the end for a more sort of immersive feel to it. There is a little door here as well that can open and close. There. We've got shed lights on and off. And then these doors on the end to open and close as well. Again, independently. Now, production just here. So herbicide or liquid fertilizer is what we're making. And we have run out now of herbicide and the liquid fertilizer, the weed-free and the nutrient salt. So what I did was run it right the way through, and what we ended up with was 50,000 litres. So it's from 500 litres, not to 5,000, but to 50,000 litres. So that 500 litres of concentrate then became 50,000 litres of each. So like I say, if you run 1 of these through of each, that's pretty good. Liquid fertilizer and herbicide production. There's no colour choice for the building itself. It comes as it is by DS Power. Next we have got the Autoload Pack, which I put just around here. Now this is a curious one. This will be replacing that warehouse mod thing that came out with... so this is a pallet autoload or bag autoload trailer. This is by Rowdy Christie 1 VSR Modding Sur, 19.36 megawatts download. One is 6 slots, one is 5 slots. This you'll find under trailers, just here. So that one there says pallet trailer, quite clear, pallet trailer. But Lizard Logistics pallet trailer. But it shows the things at the bottom there, which is what the big bag one does. Like, yeah. And then that one there says big bag trailer, but then shows everything. So I was, although it does show boxes, it's a bit peculiar. Anyway, options on this. And this one you specify what you want it to be on. So solid fertilizer, lime, seed, pig food, oat, wheat, road salt, mineral feed, back again. So you pick what you want. We've got wheel brand, lizard or mitre, and then we've got main colour and we've got rim colour and a license plate option on there too. Various different capacities depending on what option you went for on there. Then this one here, and again, price is dirt cheap on these. We've got lizard and mitre, main colour, rim colour, 34,000 litres it will hold. So that one there, it's if we go into this one here, we come down to the pallets section. See, pallets to me is pallets, and that is big bag pallets. But like I say, they just seem to be the other way round. Regardless, the one that does everything will do everything. That's got wood beams on it at the moment. And unlike the previous one that came in that warehouse pack, this one will allow you to unload anywhere, so you can dump off your stuff once you've loaded on, which is pretty handy. Be careful if you're unloading into a sell point. Some sell points will allow you to, some won't. For example, this one I've got loaded, and you can also load this up from a buy anything silo as well. So if you want to go sort of down that route, you can. But obviously you can do certain things like this. Switch to the trailer, there we go. So I can unload that into a sell point, or I can take it to where I want to go and unload into other containers and things I want to. Let's just stop there. So whilst some of the productions I've got out, I thought I'd try it. It didn't give me the option to unload into the sell points, but it did give me the option to unload. And if you've got the liftable pallet and bales mod by Yoss as well. Now, what I have also found, especially doing normal pallets of things, it will only do one thing at a time. So if I do wood beams, that's fine. If I then put something else out on here, it will overlay it. Be careful. You don't try and load two things on here at once. I just decided the quickest and easiest thing to do. I had a spare one sat to one side that I was going to use for something else. I'll show you. It has a bit of a glitch I'm finding when I'm picking up pallets from the floor. Like then, I clicked L3, it loaded 754 litres, then stopped. Now it's moved on to another pallet, watch, and then it stops. Doesn't do the complete pallet. If I press L3 again, it then takes the rest of the pallet. Press L3, stopped. Press it again. Now it could be too far away, but it's been doing it whether I'm side on, whether I'm front on. Let's go a bit closer, try it again. There you go, it's taking that one. Press it again. Let it stop. There we go. Blimey, did the full one. Cool. That's good. There you go, stopped again. Press it again. Resets it, press it to refill. No, refill container. There you go. It's weird, I don't know why it keeps stopping. Anyway, like I said, it's it will do the job, and unlike that other trailer that we got a little while ago and people saying it's not working, it's not doing what it should be, and this one just gives the option R1 and triangle to unload. So whilst it, in certain situations, it may give you the option to unload into a trigger, so whatever it is you're taking your products to, sell points especially seem to work. But if you're moving items to productions, some productions don't, but you can R1 unload puts it out behind, and if you, like I say, if you've got the liftable thing, you can then just lift them into a sell point. If you're lined up with the sell point and do that, it can unload into the sell point, but again, be careful, because when I did it round the back with the dairy, it actually unloaded 3 of the pallets inside the dairy, inside the building itself. I couldn't get to them, so just something to be aware of. But the fact you can unload them actually does make life much, much easier. That is the Autoload Pack by Rowley Christie 1 VSR Modding Sur. Next we have got the JCB Hydradig over the back here by RossN Mods, 110 watt. 110W, 31.24 megabytes download, 10 slots. Then we've got some attachments that come with this. The attachments, there were 4 of them, were all 1 slot. It's a cool little digger. Again, I was curious. I don't recall seeing this one before from RossN Mod, so I thought I'd have a look. It might be under other areas, but it was under excavators, just there for 190 grand. We've got the option of Michelin, Trelleborg, BKT, Vredestein, and back again. The only one that's got options is the Trelleborg. We're on twins already. You got wides, back to twins again, and the others are all what it came with. Beacon strobes, yes or no. Green beacons, yes or no. Attacher type. Now the 110 is the attachments that come with it. If you go for 220X, that will attach to other excavator attachments, which I've got one to do. Main colour does, he picks the same colour, brilliant. Main colour does that. Rim colour does the rim. Nice and straightforward. We come out of there and we go to our excavator tools. So like I say, this comes with that one there, the trenching bucket at 800 litres. We've got this one here at 1,200 litres, that one at 1,600 litres, and this is a tilt rotator. So if you attach these onto it as it is, they're fixed in one position. That tilt rotator will allow you to rotate them around. I've got one of those out. There are no options on any of these, they come as they are. And then like I say, if you go for the other version, you can attach, as you can see here, regular excavator attachments to it. That's why I went for that one, just to show you. It's a slightly different attacher, and it attaches on a bigger, chunkier bit of kit. So let's hop on, start it up. So we've got control group 1, main arm. We've got left stick side to side, rotates the whole lot, and raises and lowers. We've then got R1 and right stick up and down, does that bit, and then side to side is what does that bit there. So if we bring that back around and bring that down, there you go, there's our tilt rotator. So with the tilt rotator added on, and just switch back to our main vehicle, that gives me the option that when I attach to a piece of equipment, I can then rotate the bucket. So if I, for example, do that one now, that does give me another option. Let's go back to our main arm. So R1, right stick side to side, does that bit, we've seen, and up and down does that. And L1, R1, if you've got the tilt rotator on, left stick allows you to rotate that bucket round. So the tilt rotator, which is pretty cool. So you can dig at an angle or whichever way around you want to. Without that, it sits in a fixed plane. And then we've got right stick does that, which rather than rotate the entire cab as an assembly, just rotates the arm, like that. And then up and down, sorry, no, up and down, then side to side does that one. So it's slightly, not unusual, but slightly different controls, the control surfaces. But it's pretty cool. But then obviously if you've left your arm out to one, you might want to then left stick, not left stick, bring that back around so it's in a position where you can see it from your cab. Maybe in cab views, that one on the arm, that one back out again. Let's rotate that back around. Then we've got control group main arm, press triangle, takes us to levelers. So we've got L1, right stick up and down, does the rear leveler, blade, right stick side to side, does the front leveler. You can raise it right up, or you can set it level so you can suspend it, or just basically just give it a bit more stability. And then press it one more time, it takes us to control group doors, left stick L1 and right stick side to side, sorry, does that. L1 and right stick up and down, opens and closes the window on that door. The window on the door, the window. Like so. Confused yet? Oh yes, we'd also have the option for, I meant to say that as well, under, where are we? Toggle steering mode. We have got all wheel steer, front wheel steer, crab steer left, crab steer right, back to all wheel steer again. It's a very neat, compact little bit of kit, really, isn't it? And if we quickly jump into the other one, just here, you'll see that's your regular bit of kit. JCB Hydradig by RossN Mods. Next, we've got the Grain Dryer Mod Pack by my old mate Cartech. Hello, Cartech, and hello, Mrs. Cartech. Lovely, lovely people. Cartech is my chauffeur when we go to Lama. Lovely, lovely guy. This is 44.03 megabytes download. We've got 3 dryers. We've got a small, a medium, and a large, technically. 5 slots and 5,000, 27 slots and 40,000, 30 slots and 92,000. We've also got a sell point, which is 1 slot. And I can't remember how much that was to buy, we'll have to double check. We've also got a methane buy station, because we need methane here. That was 3 slots, 1,000 to buy. And then under barrels, we've also got 2 tankers which will carry methane because it requires methane. That being said, if you're running the CavalierRoy thing and you're producing methane, you can use the tanker from this pack, get the methane you're getting as a byproduct and bring it here without having to buy it. But also being said, the methane to buy is dirt cheap, and then you can sell it on, make a little bit of money. If you've got spare, you know, because it would be a bit nefarious to do it any other way around, wouldn't it? There's our grain dryer shed small, as I said, 5 grand. There's the medium, which is the one behind it, which is 40 grand. And then this one here is 92 grand. This one does have a customization option. You can change the colour of the walls on the sides. The others come as they are. If we come across then to sell points, we have got just there the grain dryer sell point, which was 50. I thought it said 500 on my notes, but 50. And then we come across from there to containers, and we come to here for £1 grand. You've got the methane buy point just there, which you're going to need. And then we come out of there and we come into this menu here, and we come to animals and barrels. Just there, you've got the methane. So that one's an 8,000 litre methane tanker, and this is a 32,000 litre tanker, which do have customization options pretty much like the same as the other tankers. Main colour, rim colour, and license plate options as well, which I went for. Now, what is also very cool about this pack is the smaller one, which is designed for people just starting out. This basically has different processes because this is drying down. It's a grain dryer. It's different things that are being used as the fuel, basically. So you've got wood putting in and your crops putting in, and then taking out is done here. But this one is barley, corn, oat, and wheat, which all 3 will take. And this one, the burnable substance, is wood. So that's it, just wood. You don't need anything else. Just cut down a few trees, bring it here, bring your crops, you can dry them down. And in the prices menu, you get more money for the dried stuff. Plus, there's a sell point that comes with this anyway, which is pretty cool. Recipes and cycles per month are, they don't look bonkers. Let's go across and go down. But because it's a 1,000 to 1,000, it goes fast anyway. So if I turn those on now, you'll see how quickly all 4 of those, should I say, start to ramp up. Look at the outgoing products. This will steam through your stuff really, really fast. Now, the next one is the, where are we? The grain drying shed, which is that one there, which is the one behind we'll have a look at the moment. But this one, not only does it take methane, which we've already talked about, it doesn't take wood, it takes wood chips. So on the right-hand side, we've got methane, straw, or wood chips. So this has got multiple recipes. So if you look at the barley one there at the top, you can do barley as it is. You can have the burnable substance being methane or straw. The standard one is using wood chip, methane or straw, or run all of them. And again with this, if I put all of those running, the speed that the barley will then start drying down is crazy fast. So you've got an option. If you've got a load of straw, have that as your burnable material. If you've got wood chip, use that. If you want to buy methane, buy that. But you've got options there to choose. And again, if I go down to my corn, my oats, and then my wheat, you've got 3 recipes on each one. Yeah, the barley is absolutely hooning through. Capacities on this one are a lot larger. And if we move on to the next one over, which is our grain drying silo, which is the very biggest one, again, 3 recipes for each, but then the capacity on this is not 500,000 litres, it's 800,000 litres. And yeah, same thing. You've got wood chip, methane, straw as your burnable substances, and then you've got your barley, corn, oat, and wheat are your crops you're drying down. So you can absolutely crack on. So let's go across the back here. Putting into this one is done here for your crops. Your burnable substances, your straw and your wood chips are put in here. Your methane is put in at this tank around the sides here, and our managed production is just here, which we've just seen the productions in there. We go through to the back of this one. We also have an option, if you want to use this as a shed, to come to here, press circle, you can hide items. So you can tidy up the shed, and if you want to use it for storage and stuff, you can. Which again, makes it quite a handy bit of kit to have as a shed, as well as drying down all your crops. And then taking out was done, is it around the side? Where was the taking out bit done? There you go, around the side there. And then the larger one, which is a much bigger proposition again. There's your tanker, there's your methane tank, sell point's just here. I think to fill that 32,000 litre tank with methane on from the methane point was 6,000 and something. And then whatever price they'll give you for selling it, awesome. So you can open these doors. This is your sort of storage bunkers. It doesn't gain you anything by opening them, but you can open them. You've got storage down the side there. Taking out is done here for your dried products. Coming down to the front here, we go round through the office, which is how you get to open this door here. With this door open, your crops go into this sell point. Your burnable substances, so your wood chip and your straw, go just to the side there. Your methane tank is around the side there. This does have light switches and stuff on it as well. Methane tank is around the back, and then your managed production is done just here. And again, like I say, this is the larger of them. And if I put all of those on, let's go for, say, corn, put all three of the corn recipes on, then look at the dry corn. It's on 14 litres, and it just absolutely just starts hammering away. There you go. Rock and roll. And then, like I say, check out your prices menu, and you'll be quids in. Says our dry barley, dry corn, dry oat, dry wheat. Go across to the right-hand side. 1,462, depends on what sell point. There's a grain dryer sell point. Sell everything. 1413. Dry corn, 1715. Dry oats, 1715. Dry wheat, 14 and 13, which is way better than you'll get for just your basic sell point. It's cool. Grain dryer by Cartech. I did do it. It's like anybody that's put mods out this week. I'm so sorry. People have been waiting for me to review them. I've been away. I'm so sorry. Next, we've got the multi-crop greenhouses. This by GH66 Mods. 24.14 megabytes download. Slot counts are various. This is the same as the first greenhouse one. We've got greenhouses in the polytunnel, greenhouses in the glass. We've got mushroom greenhouses, but these are again kind of boosted, but also with some additions to them. As you can see, we've got the posts. I'm not calling them what it says on the thing because I got demonetized last time that happened. Can't use that word because it sounds a bit dodgy. Come down there, come to our factories, come across to our greenhouses, and we come down to the bottom section, so past all the boosted. So we're on multi-crop greenhouses, and when it says multi-crop, it really does mean it. So we've got all the various different ones, but we've then got them in all various different things. So for example there, we're on the large tarp greenhouse. We've got fruit and veg large, we've got grain and carif large, we've got oil and taproot large, and then we go into the medium. So they're all separate and they all do different things. So there's additional crop types that you don't normally have in greenhouses. We've got the option to do on these. What I like about these as well, the enhanced mushroom ones, this has the ability to put in manure and straw around the mushrooms, which means you can produce your mushrooms faster. I've always thought the base game mushroom productions are very slow. But again, we've got the enhanced mushroom, small, medium and large. And then again, we've got oil and taproot, fruit and veg, grain and carif on each of the ones. So again, I'm not going to go through all the slot counts, all the stuff. I've got the small ones out of each to show you. So water we put in here. Taking out. Oh, done up there, depending on what you're running. So this one is our fruit and veg one. And we've got double recipes again. So you've got standard recipe with water, recipe with water and manure, which is enhanced. And we've got the standard ones in here, but we've also got beans we can grow in here. We've got peas we can grow in here, potatoes, spinach. I think that was it. Yep. So they're the crop types on top of on the fruit and veg greenhouse. And these, again, I ran overnight, but what you can do, if you don't want loads of pallets everywhere, as you can see, these double stack as well, you can raise and lower these. Now, when you go to place them, again, I should have shown that, if we go to here and go like that, it says customize. I've got the option for right side spawn pallet or left side spawn pallet. So you can see where the things are there, but regardless of that, the posts will still raise and lower both sides. It's just where the pallets will actually spawn, which is pretty cool. So what I will do, because this has already got some stuff being produced, and I placed these so it wouldn't spawn them, there's a little button, where are we? Just there, block pallet spawning. Now I've got my pallets spawning this side, but they will still come out of the ground here. So I press circle. Now if I had my spawn point this side, that would stop that happening. But I can put those back down. If I come to this side, there you go, allow pallets to spawn. If I put that down, the pallets of peas that we've got now should spawn, he says. There you go, there's our pea pallet. So yeah, if you don't want pallets everywhere. Now again, that one pea pallet was what I got in the same time that I got all of this. This is sugarcane. All of these sugarcane pallets in the same amount of time. So this greenhouse, again, there's one of each in each of them. So this one is the grain and carif. There's small, medium and large on these. There is tarp, there is glass on these as well. So we can do barley in here. We can do corn in here. Cotton, oat, sorghum, soybean, sugarcane and wheat, which is not your standard greenhouse type crops. Again, recipes will vary depending on the size of greenhouse. I just ran sugarcane in here because it's a crop I hadn't done in a greenhouse before. And again, some pallets will spawn, some won't. The things that won't, you take out from here. This one, I've done rice on this one, so you don't have to have rice fields if you don't want to have rice fields. So again, this one we got canola, carrots, long grain rice, parsnips, red beet, normal rice, sugar beet, sunflower. And that's what I got. In the same time I got all that sugar cane, I got one thing of rice, but it's a thing of rice, no less. And then this, again, I say, it was this part of the pack that intrigued me most, but that being said, it's still pretty cool anyway, was the fact we can run our mushrooms a little bit faster because we've got the option for manure, straw and water on our recipe. So we've got 3 recipes for each one standard, one with straw and manure. Which allows you to produce more mushrooms as you go. Now I know this is a bit of a whistle stop because I've still got more to do, but that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. That is the multi-crop greenhouses by GH66 Mods. Like I say, there's a lot of stuff. This again piqued my interest, and when I realised it's just cool, it's a clever mod. That's why I like it. This is the movable shelf and bench pack by Biggins. 14.28 megabytes download. One's on the slot count. You find them under decoration. You think, okay, it's a decorative item. It is a decorative item, but you can incorporate this into storytelling and that kind of stuff. And how many times have you tried to put a decorative item inside a shed or a building and it doesn't sit quite right or anything like that? These are movable. Movable in that you can walk up to it and I can pick up the object and I can move it, which is cool. And I can place it wherever I want once it's been put down. But that's not all. If I enter the vehicle, like so, and start the engine, I can actually push it. So I can, it's as if you're pushing a shelf. You could have secret entrances, couldn't you? I don't know why I suddenly thought of that. But you can kind of drive it. So you can move the shelf and put it wherever you want to. So as far as placement goes, let's turn the engine off, do that. If I lifted it, is that going to fit under there? Decide I'm going to place it in my shed and put it down. And then think I'm not quite sure if that's in the right position. Enter the vehicle, start the engine, and I can back it up, adjust it as I want, which I think is quite a cool feature. There you go, right up against the wall, turn the engine off, and we are placed. Nice. Now, that's not all it does. So we're going to here, come down to our build mode, come to decoration, and scroll down. There's 7 of each. We've got workbenches and we've got shelves. So here are 7 workbenches. They're, like I said, the 1 slot each. Prices, I think they're 53 on all of them. Pretty sure. Yeah. So they're all various different things. And like I say, you can place them wherever you want. Then move them from there. But again, that's not all. Once you've picked and chosen whatever you want to do, again, to add to your narrative, depending on how heavy the thing is and how realistic, you might want to pick it up with something else. But if I pick that up, for example, I can put it into a trailer. If I want to put it in a trailer for transportation. Obviously, it works a little bit better with shelving, I think, rather than these. But you can. and it will strap down. But this is where it gets even cooler. Come on, let's go up the hill. So, if you decide you want to change things a little bit, let's undo the straps, undo the strap, and I'll lift it up, take it off there. Let's put it into our... So if you've got a toolbox, you've got a workshop trigger, whatever you've got. If I go to the workshop trigger and click on that now, I can customize it. So I've got the option of all the junk, half the junk, the other half of the junk, or no junk at all. So I can pick empty shelving, and then you can simulate the fact you've added to it or taken away, or you might decide you've got to take all the junk off it before you can move it. Or so you've got options on that. If I press customize now, it doesn't cost me anything. When I come back out again, I've got an empty set of shelving, which I can then take away, put where I want to go. It's just, like I say, it's quirky, it's clever, it's something a little bit different, which I don't think I've ever come across really before, not like that. There you go. That's by Biggins, which brings us to the last mods I'm going to look at for today. And again, like I say, this is my pick of the week. There might be stuff you would have chosen to pick, or you might argue that I should have chosen other things. That's absolutely fine. This is my pick. This is the Mack R by Rowley Christie 1 VSR Modding Sur, 18 megabyte download, 15 slots, and you will find this under trucks. So, just here, again, I wanted to see, because obviously that's the base game at 45,000. This is 79,000. I think that's a 400 horsepower. This goes up to 5, is it? 500 horsepower. I wanted to see what the new options were. I always liked this version. It was pretty cool in 22. We've got Continental, Knock-In are our two choices. Continental, just that. Knock-In, we've got Off-Road 1 and Off-Road 2. So if you want to go for a more off-roady logging type thing, if you want to. We've got Design 1 through 5, I think it is. This is for the sort of decals and stuff. Sorry, that's on 1 standard, 2, 3, 4, 5, which puts the Mack thing on the side, back to 1 again. We've got no filter, filters, tall filters, back off again. This one that says no filter is actually wing mirrors. We've got no filter or front wing mirrors, like that. We've got design original, guide sticks, modified, decoration, and then back again. I think I went modified. No antennas or with antennas. Design color. Main color does the top section of the cab. Next design color down does the bottom section. Metallics are available. Rim color, license plate option on there as well. So I went for the version. So you've got the Mack logo. You can pick it. You can't change the Mack logo color. And I went slightly metallic. I went for the bigger, chunkier front end on it as well, with antennas, I think 2, and wing mirrors. Lights, well, yeah, I just thought it was quite cool. I like the look of that. Not overly expensive, looks pretty cool. There are quite a lot of lorries and stuff to choose from. I love the aerials whipping around all over the place. First person. That's pretty cool. I hadn't looked all the way around when I did my testing. Like I say, wing mirrors out on the front. Don't think we get any options for doors, windows, anything like that. No, it comes as it is. There we go. That's the Mack R by Rowley Christie 1 VSR Modding Sur. And that's it for this mod review, my roundup of new mods. I hope you found all this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.